that doubting Christ's presence is a sign of little faith. So this is so human. It's so human that we would be anxious for things, that we would reason just naturally without putting God in the equation, that we would fear the future, and that we would doubt Christ's presence. But there is another thing about faith in the Gospels, and it's the idea of a great faith. So we have little faith, and then we have great faith. Let's look at great faith. There are two instances of great faith. One is in Luke chapter 7, in verses 2 to 9. Luke chapter 7, 2 to 9. This is about a centurion. Centurions were probably Roman. They were probably Greek. They're not Jews. So this is a man who is not an Israelite, and yet we can see something about his faith. So a certain centurion's servant who was dear to him was sick and ready to die. This man had a servant that was very dear to him and was dying. And when he heard of Jesus, he sent unto him the elders of the Jews, beseeching him that he would come and heal his servant. And when they came to Jesus, they brought him instantly, saying, they besought him instantly, saying that he was worthy for whom he should do this. For he loves our nation, and he has helped us build a synagogue. Right? So the elders came to Jesus. The servants went to Jesus and went to the elders and said, hey, there's a centurion, he really needs help. Could you talk to Jesus about it? So the elders went to Jesus and said, there's a centurion who needs help. Can you help him? And he's worthy of it because he helped us and he loves our nation. He's not a Jew, but he helped us and he loves our nation. So this is what's happened. So then Jesus went with them. And when he was now not far from the house, the centurion sent his friends to him and said to him, Lord, trouble not thyself, for I am not worthy that you should enter under my roof. Wherefore neither thought I myself worthy to come unto thee. This is quite a man. He sent his sense out to the Lord and said, Lord, don't even come under my roof. I'm not even worthy. I didn't even go to you because I'm not worthy to be in your presence, because you are the Lord. And he wasn't worthy to be in his presence. He's quite a man. But this is what he said. So back to verse 7. Wherefore neither thought of myself worthy to come unto thee, but say in a word, and my servant shall be healed. It is for this statement that the Lord remarked his great faith. He said, Lord, you don't have to come to my house. I'd send messengers to you. All you have to do is say it, and I know it will happen. You just say it, and I know it will happen. It doesn't have to do with any of the people. You just say it, I know it will happen. And he gives the reasoning that he had. He said, because I am a man set under authority, having under me soldiers. And I say to one, go, and he goes. And I say to the other, comes, and he comes. And to my servant, do this, and he does it. That was his reasoning, and that's why he said, Jesus, I know that all you have to do is say to my servant, be healed, he'll be healed. Because I know when I am the captain of a host, and I say, hey guys, come, and they come, and I tell them go, and they go. So I know that if you say to the sickness, go, it goes. This is like childlike faith. We call it childlike faith, like children who have faith in their dads. We only have a couple of dads here, but we know that when our children are small, especially as they get older, they get really smarter. But when our children are really small, they believe we can do everything. Absolutely everything. Not even a question. My daddy's the biggest, the strongest, the most powerful. He can buy everything. He can do everything. It's childlike faith. This centurion understood who Jesus Christ was. And because of that, he said, I know who I am. I'm a captain. I say things and people do it. You are the captain of the host. You are the Lord of lords. If you say it, it will happen. And this is what Jesus said then in verse 9. When Jesus heard these things, he marveled at him and turned about and said unto the people that followed him, I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. We tend to think that great faith means that we believe, that we have great faith to believe in the impossible. Like it takes great faith to believe in Santa Claus. Or, I really believe that a person has great faith that they can believe the impossible. But really, this great faith has to do with Jesus Christ and what he has said. Right? This centurion is talking about the person of Christ and what he has said. Great faith means I trust Jesus Christ as the source and what he has said. That's what great faith is. You see what I mean? It's not, oh, I have great faith to be healed. I have great faith to be healed. I have great faith to be healed. Like faith isn't a substance that gets bigger and smaller, but it depends on what our faith's object is in. Some people believe, and we hear it a lot in Christian circles, you don't have much faith. But when Jesus said he said you have little faith, he's not talking about quantity as much as he is talking about quality. And quality is all about not the faith, because if I could have we spoke about this maybe before, but if you take a pipe, right, a pipe is what faith is. Faith is not an end, it is the means. Faith is not something I just want to have a lot of faith, because a lot of faith doesn't do anything for us. It's what you put your faith in that makes it great. If I put my faith in Christ and what he has said, that makes my faith great. Right? But if I do not, if I have my faith in my own ability, or like the guys on the boat, they had their faith in their own ability on the boat. They understood storms. They were reasoning, we are in trouble. They became anxious and fearful, and they just were panicking, in a straight-out panic. And the Lord said, you have little faith. And it's not because their faith was small, like it's a straw, and it should have been a pipe. It was what their faith was in. And when Jesus Christ himself is lying in the boat, or he himself is standing on the water, he says, you have little faith. I am the object of your faith. I am the object of your faith, of your trust. The word believe and trust, especially to lean upon, or to be supported by our faith. Okay, so one is this centurion who had great faith. The other is a Canaanite woman. She's a Gentile woman. This is as bad as it gets. One thing, back in those days, women weren't regarded very highly, not nearly as highly as we regard the feminine parts amongst us here today. We, especially Christian societies, our women are esteemed very, very high, and so they were by Jesus Christ. But this was a Canaanite woman, and she was a Gentile woman, so she had two strikes against her. And let's read the story in Matthew chapter 15. Verse 22. Behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with the devil. There is demon possession. People can be actually possessed by the devil. I only know 2 instances of it actually happening where I saw a devil, like a demon, cast out of somebody. It's pretty hair-raising, like kind of freaks you out a little bit, because they start screaming and talking in different voices, and it's kind of wild, but it is real. It really happens, not just in Hollywood. Anyway, this woman was grievously vexed, or troubled, tormented by a devil. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, send her away, for she cries after us. And they could treat her like that. This was a Canaanite woman. Get her out of here. She's like crying after us. What's she crying? The Lord's hearing her. What's she crying? O Lord, Son of David. crying, "O Lord, Son of David." Lord, Son of David. Those are prophetic words. This woman is a believer, though he doesn't let on, of course. He doesn't answer her. The disciples said, "Get and send her away." But he answered and said, "I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Then she came and worshipped him, saying, "Lord, help me." He sent her away. "I'm not come except to the Jews, and you are a Gentile." He sends her away. First he didn't talk to her, then he sends her away, and she doesn't leave. She worships him. She said, no, I know what you think about Gentiles. I know what you think about the Gentiles, but I am worshiping you. You are the Messiah. You are God. I am worshiping you. And then Jesus, look what he said in verse 26. He answered and said, "It's not right that I take the children's bread and give it to dogs." He called this woman a dog. It's not right. It was a colloquialism at the time that Gentiles were called dogs by the Jews. It wasn't like we never used the word in our, if you were to call some girl a dog, a female dog, right, that would really be nasty. It wasn't that nasty, but he was saying, why would I cast the bread for the children and give it to dogs? And listen to her response. And she said, "Truth, Lord, you're right. Gentiles don't deserve what amazing things you have done and given to the Jews. We don't deserve this." She said, "Truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat the crumbs that fall off the master's table." Yeah, you're absolutely right, Lord. What you gave to the Jews is so beautiful, so amazing, but dogs eat the crumbs that fall off the table. Jesus said to her, "O woman, great is your faith. Be it unto you even as you will." And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. Why was her faith great? Because of him. Because of him. She had her eyes fixed on him. She knew she had heard. He loves, he heals, this is the Messiah. I know who I am. I am only a Gentile, but I know him. She worshipped him. She called him Lord. She had great faith because her faith was in him. Right? That's why she had great faith. If her faith was in anything else, she surely would have never stayed there. But she had great faith. So then the apostles, there is this idea of increasing our faith. And one time in the scripture, it says that our faith would be increased. And it's in this portion in Luke chapter 17. And Jesus said, "Take heed to yourselves. If your brother trespasses against you, rebuke him. And if he repent, forgive him. And if he trespasses against you 7 times in a day, and 7 times he turned again unto thee, saying, Repent, you shall forgive him." And the apostles said unto the Lord, "Increase our faith." Right? He told them, "I want you to forgive them. Forgive them. I want you to forgive them. If they come back, you forgive them." Of course, they're already forgiven in heaven. But he's talking about in this relationship. A person comes 7 times for the same thing. And they say, "Please forgive me." Forgive them. Forgive them. And they said, "This is impossible, Lord." It had been understood that 3 was the only required number for forgiveness. After 3 times, you don't have to. He said 7. And they said, "Lord, increase our faith. We need a bigger faith, Lord, because this is not easy. What you're asking us to do is very difficult." And here's the key, though, to the whole thing. Look at this. And the Lord said, "If you had the faith as a grain of mustard seed, you might say unto this sycamore tree, Be thou plucked up by the root, and thou planted in the sea, and it will obey you." It will obey you. He turns the argument or the discussion from believing to obeying. He said, "I told you to forgive them, period." It doesn't take a lot of faith. Just do it. If you had a little faith, you could say to the tree, "Be moved and cast into the sea," and it would go. A little bit of faith. And they said, "Increase our faith like we need more." He says, "You don't need more. You need to put faith in me and do do what I say. That's all you need. Put your faith in me and do what I say. Because if you do that, then you have great faith. And you don't need to ask for more. Because that is what great faith is. And there's a really beautiful portion that I want to bring up because it really helps us. Because we're just humans. We're just human beings, and we're not all that. Our faith isn't always so great. But in Mark chapter 9, there's another story there, and we'll read it. Mark 9:17. One of the multitude answered, said, Lord, or Master, I have brought unto you my son, which has a dumb spirit, he cannot speak. And wheresoever he takes him, he tears him. He has a dumb spirit. The spirit makes it, that it actually is a demon. He has a demon that makes him dumb. And where it takes him, he tears at him. He foams and gnashes his teeth and pines away. His body is becoming smaller and smaller. He doesn't eat. And I spake to your disciples, and that they should cast him out, and they could not. And he answered and said, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him to me. And they brought him unto him. And when he saw him, straightway the spirit of the demon, this spirit, evil spirit, tore him. And he fell on the ground and wallowed, foaming. This really happens, When people are demon-possessed, they can foam, they shake, and can be, and also they can be very normal. It's really, really spooky. But anyway, that's what happened with this person. And he asked his father how long it is since this came unto him. And he said, since he was a child. And oftentimes it cast him into the fire and into waters to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us. And Jesus said unto him, if you can believe, all things are possible to him that believes.